Thank you, Amir. My name is Amir Fakhravar, and sorry it took a few minutes to take care of that one. I have almost 2 million followers on Instagram, and those people, time to time, they are interested to hear what I'm talking about. If you want to find it, it's amir.fakhravar, and you can find me on Instagram. And yeah, that's the reason. Those people are following me. 96% of them, almost 97% of them are from inside Iran. And to let you know, inside Iran, it's for last 2 days, it's the total internet and phone blackout. Have you heard about that? Do you know what the dictator is doing? Last time they have done it was November 2019. And it was the time, the Chinese at Wuhan Institute at that time, they were cooking coronavirus to send it to United States and to the world to make sure they can just do some magic to make sure President Trump will not stay in office. And at that time in Iran, we had a protest in 200 cities. And regime decided to totally make a blackout, internet and phone again, and they killed 2,800 kids in the street. It was a mass murdering. We don't know what is going on right now. For last 2 days, it's the same. President Trump said if regime kills the protesters, President Trump is going to hit them. We are not talking about the boots on the ground. Definitely, nobody wants that, because the boots are on the ground. It's 99% of Iranian people, which they love United States. And how do I know that? Because I was one of them. I was in Iran. It's 2026 right now. 2006, I was in prison in Iran, in notorious Evin prison. And then with the help of US administration, believe it or not, with the help of Pentagon, I could escape prison and escape the country and come to United States. But what happened before? For more than 5 years, 5 years and 3 months, I was under torture by Revolutionary Guard, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, the terrorist organization. And then with the Ministry of Intelligence, both of them, they tortured me. They broke at least 50 bones in my body, and 8 months of solitary confinement, and all because I was a student leader, and I was a writer, award-winning writer, which regime didn't like it, because in one of my novels, I was talking about the dictatorship, and I was talking about Islam, how Islam destroyed Iran. And somehow regime didn't like that and put me in prison for years. But with the help of United States, finally I could escape prison and come to United States. And then, over here even, they didn't let me to just move around freely. Regime tried at least 5 times to assassinate me in United States, in Texas. And thanks to FBI in Texas, I'm sure it's different FBIs in different parts of country, but in Texas they are amazing, and it's a team of FBI over there who are protecting me. And I decided to go and even file a lawsuit against the Islamic regime of Iran last year, and it's filed at the Federal Court of Washington DC. You can find it, Fakhravar versus Islamic Republic. You can find that one too, and you can see regime over here is trying to hunt us too. But thanks to President Trump. You know, when in 2019, regime made a blackout and did the massacre to kill thousands of protesters, maybe you don't know, in 40 days, President Trump killed Qasem Soleimani, the guy who was responsible for that massacre. Qasem Soleimani, the IRGC general, who killed a lot of Americans too. But yes, he killed a lot of Syrians, a lot of Lebanese, a lot of Iranians. More than anybody, he kills Iranians in the street. And about the giant movement, the freedom and democracy movement in Iran, maybe it's not on the news. They are not talking about it because the mainstream media somehow, they have a lot of monies from the Iranian regime, from Qatari's government, from all of those Islamic governments, and they don't want to tell the people that Iranian nation, they are not Muslim anymore. They don't want to say that. When we are saying Iran, we are talking about 100 million Iranians, 90 million inside the country, 10 million outside of the country in exile. And we are not Muslim. We have never been Muslim. Do you know what they did to us? Iran, we are talking about Persian Empire. It's the birthplace of civilization. Yeah, this is the 250th anniversary of United States. But did you know when the American founding fathers, they came together to draft the Constitution, to make the new government, they said that Thomas Jefferson, it was Thomas Jefferson who said, okay, we have two ways. Either to follow Machiavelli, the prince of Machiavelli, and make sure the government will make the people so afraid to make sure people follow the government, or let's follow the path of Cyrus the Great. The Iranian king, 2,500 years ago. And back then, Cyrus the Great, he drafted the first Declaration of Human Rights. It's called Cyrus Cylinder. It was just 2 months ago when finally UNICEF said, oh yeah, this is the first Declaration of Human Rights. And he said, he freed the Jews. And then the fall of Babylon. And then after that he said everybody are equal. And then American founding fathers, they said that is the one we want for United States. But what happened to that Persian culture, to that Persian nation? Yes, 1400 years ago, a crazy guy, I'm not afraid to say crazy guy, called so-called Prophet Muhammad. He came up and, as an ex-Muslim, I can say it. But it's not politically correct for everybody to say it. I don't know why. But everybody should say it. Muhammad was a pedophile. He was. When somebody is marrying a 6-year-old girl, what is that? He was a warlord and a pedophile. And it's not my word. Do you know whose word is it? Just guess. And the last one who said that was Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk said Muhammad was a pedophile because he raped a 6-year-old girl and then he was a warlord. The entire life of Muhammad, when you are looking at it, it's just war and war and war, more than 100 wars to kill who? He had war with all his family members. He was killing his cousins, his uncles, his aunts. Yeah, this is the definition of insanity, isn't it? Yeah. And that crazy ideology, like a virus, started to go around. Where was the first destination, you think? Because it started from Hijaz, it's called Mecca, Saudi Arabia today. The first destination was Persian Empire, the birthplace of civilization. Muhammad's army, they went to Iran, they destroyed everything in Iran. They destroyed everything. And they killed as much as they could, but just they killed the guys. Muhammad gave them the definition of man, said kill all the man. And you know what was the definition of man? Every boy over 10 years old was a man. They beheaded all of them in Iran, as much as they could. What happened to the woman? What happened to the girl? 300,000 women and girls in Iran became sex slaves by Muhammad's crazy army. Muhammad burned all the libraries in Iran. Even we had university in Iran back then. Muhammad burned everything in my country and forced everybody to say, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. What does it mean, La ilaha illallah? We believed in God in Iran before Muhammad. We had one God. Our religion was Zoroastrian. I'm sure you heard about it. It was all about the thinking good, doing good, talking good. It was the slogan of Persians. And Muhammad destroyed everything. He was dead, but the virus from his crazy mind went to his followers, and his followers, for at least 3 centuries, still they were mass murdering Iranian people. Iran was a giant empire. It took a long time for Muslims to make sure it's not going to be anything from that civilization anymore. But we, the Iranians, we were lucky. Because it didn't happen just to us. It happened to Syrians. It happened to Egyptians. It happens to Iraqis. To every country you are seeing in that area, in entire Middle East and North Africa. Do you know why over there? It's always war. It's because of Muhammad's ideology for last 1400 years. And then they decided to go to Europe. But they were stopped in Spain by the true warriors of God. They were stopped. The history doesn't want to talk about that. But it was the Christians who stopped them at some point and said, stop killing, stop spreading that crazy ideology to the world. But in Middle East, it was late. It was too late. We, the Persians, we had one poet called Ferdowsi. Ferdowsi decided to write a giant book called Shahnameh. And in Shahnameh, Ferdowsi kept our heritage as a poet there, which for centuries we could remember who we were before Islam. The Syrians, they were not lucky to have Ferdowsi. Iraqis, they were not lucky. Egyptians, they were not lucky. What happened to those nations? They totally forgot who they were. They are all Arab Muslims, but we are Persians. And now, finally, after 1400 years, we the Persians, we woke up. And we said, you know what? We were not Muslim, and we don't want to be Muslim. They have done a lot of bad things to us. And yes, I was one of the pioneers of this movement in Iran, at the student movement, in universities, to write book about it. And yes, they tortured me, but thank God, I'm still alive, and right now they cannot silence me. In Iran, I went to medical school, and then I went to law school, and I went to different prisons. They arrested me 19 times. And I have seen a lot of prisons in Iran, a lot of tortures. I don't know how I'm still alive, because I had to be alive at some point. Where is my little princess? To see once that little princess Matisa will come to the world, and then I can pass the flag to her for the next generation. And then when I was in law school, yes, one of the books which that was mandatory for us to read was Montesquieu's The Spirit of the Laws. But I have never seen one part in that book. All those years I was in law school in Iran. And even when I came to United States, since 2010, I started teaching at the Institute of World Politics in Washington, D.C. And that is the little Princess Matissa. And do you want to join me and just give it to Matissa? Thank you. And to her amazing mom, Dr. Sima Zalesky. This is the next generation. Everything I'm doing, I'm passing to the next generation. I learned it from American founding fathers. When you look at the Constitution of the United States, since the end of 2013, 2014, I started teaching constitutional law, comparative constitutional law at the Texas State University. And I can't believe all of this. You know what, when I came to the United States, I couldn't speak English at all. Even I said that several times when I wanted to order McDonald's, I should call my friend in California and say, can you order McDonald's for me? It was that bad. It was at the level of, hello, how are you? But in 4 years I started. In 2006 I came here, 2010 started teaching, and then 2014 started teaching constitutional law. You can see still it's a lot of problems in my English, but it's understandable. I'm sure it's understandable. And then the American founding fathers, at the start of the Constitution, they said we are drafting this for us and for the future. When I was a teenager in Iran, I read the biography of Thomas Jefferson, and I became in love. Was the part missing in Montesquieu's book in law schools, not just in Iran, at Harvard Law School, Yale Law School, Stanford, they are not talking about that part. Do you know what is that part? It's about Islam. Montesquieu, at the spirit of the laws, says Islam destroys the nations. It was 276 years ago when he published the spirit of the laws. He told us back then, and the example is Iran. He says, look at Iran. Iran before Islam was flourishing in the world. The Persian Empire. And when Islam came, he's calling Islam Mamdan nation. Is it sound familiar? Do you know what's the name of the mayor in New York right now? Do you know Mamdani is coming from Muhammadani? It's Prophet Muhammad. Muhammadani. Maybe they are ashamed to say Muhammadani and they are saying Mamdani. Oh no, it's not Mamdani, it's Muhammadani. And even Montesquieu, because back then, until 1950, I guess, still they were using the name Mamdan for the followers of Muhammad. And by the way, Mamdani is the worst part of Islam. Because Islam has the Shia and Sunni. The Shia part are the crazy part. Those are the parts who believe 12 Imam will come and will the world full of blood of whoever is not Shia Muslim, then everything will be good. This is the ideology of Shiaism. But Mamdani is not saying that. He's a Shia Muslim. Why he's not saying that? Do you know why he is so cool? Muslims are cool when they don't have the numbers. and you will see they have a lot of babies. Their number grows very fast. And when they have the number, then you are in trouble. Let's pray to God that it's not going to happen, and America will stay awake and make sure the Muslims are not going to control the entire United States. Just in Dallas, Texas, during last 3 years, they built 48 mosques. Did you know that? 48 mosques. How many churches they built during last 3 years? And why? Why we do need too many mosques? And what's the reason? And still, when they do have a lot of mosques, in New York they have a lot of mosques, but time to time you will see the Muslims are coming to street to pray. Is it traffic jam? What is that? The Muslims are praying, and the police is protecting them. Oh, really? The praying in street together, it was one of the ideologies, one of the tactics of Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, to show to his enemies that we are in charge. And he was calling it the war tactic. He wanted to give his people, his own people, the confidence enough to go to the war and kill all the infidels. Who are the infidels? Whoever is not Muslim is infidel. That's written in their book. They have a constitution, the Muslims. It's called Quran. When we were kids in Iran, we were under brainwash. And for generations, my grandfather was Muslim, my father was Muslim, I was Muslim. But until I started to think and said, what the heck is that? The women are animals and they have just the skin of human to make man calm? This is Islam. Officially they are saying that. Women are not regular human. When in several cases when they want to talk about animals, you will see in one shelf, it's women's there. And the humans are the guys. But what type of guys? The guys who are Muslim. Yes, it's hard to talk about these things if you don't have Islamic background. Maybe you don't believe that, really? Is it that bad? Yes, this is that bad. And right now, in London, the Muslims, they have the number. In several cities, big cities in Europe, they have the numbers. When they have the numbers, first thing they are asking for, do you know what is that? Sharia law. They want Sharia law. And then in Sharia law, the women are, since they want to be nice for now to you, the women are for now second-class citizen. Then when they have the big numbers, then the woman will go to the shelf of the animals. It happens everywhere with this ideology. Islamic ideology is like a disease. When you are watching the zombie movies, you'll see the normal humans. And then some virus is coming. And then you are not a human anymore. Some zombies, they are not hurting in those zombie movies. They're not hurting you. But you will see something happened and immediately they are coming to eat you alive. This is Islam. You heard a lot about, those Muslim couple, they had even killed in the United States. And then they decided to go and kill at least 20 people at the place they were working. And everybody over there is saying, they are nice people. What happened? It's the ideology of Islam. Yes, when we were at schools in Iran, the mullahs, they were teaching us about religion, and they were telling us, look, it's just Allah Akbar. La ilaha illallah, no God, just Allah. And you know what? We should make sure we can go. The United States is, they were telling us, United States, do you know who you are in their mind? Yeah, you have a title. Great Satan. The United States is a great Satan, and Israel is a little Satan. They were telling us in school, and even visually they were showing us. I remember the first time in 2006 when I came to the United States, my flight landed at JFK, and I've seen a lot of nice people. They're just smiling, laughing, making jokes, and nice to each other. They don't look like those posters at school we have seen for years. Yeah, it was Satan with the bloody nail, and the blood were coming from the teeth and just ready to kill everybody. That was the painting of United States and Israel to us, the kids in Iran, to make sure we'll hate everybody in the world. And thanks to, let's say, to the internet, finally, the Iranian new generation, we could see the world. Oh my God, they were lying to us. Not for last 47 years, which they are in place. For last 1400 years, the Muslims, they were lying to us. And the new generation in Iran realized that. Islam to us is not a romantic ideology anymore. To some Americans, to Europeans, Islam is romantic ideology. Oh, tolerance. To us, no. We have seen Islam enough. And since we remember who we were before Islam, Iranian nation right now is the first nation in Islamic world. They are calling it Islamic world. We are the first nation who rejected Islam. And right now that I'm talking to you, the people, the kids in the street, you know what they are doing? They are burning mosques. They are burning Quran. We asked them. I asked them. I said, burn Quran. Because this is not the word of God. This is the word of Satan. And I'm not afraid to say that. I was Muslim. I have seen it enough. And I should talk to the people right now to tell them, I should make sure that that romantic part of Islam is not going to fool anybody anymore in the world. As much as we know. That we are lucky, the Iranian nation. You know, the Iranian regime is gone. It's gone. If anybody couldn't believe it, I'm sure when President Trump, with the midnight hammer, destroyed their nuclear facilities, everybody realized that the Iranian supreme leader is gone. And since then, my daughter is here, I cannot use the bad word, but since then, that MF living underground under the Russian embassy in Tehran. The supreme leader even cannot come up. He's afraid. He has a nickname, Mushali, right now. Mushali is, his name is Ali, and it's Mushali is the rat Ali. Yeah, and because he's not coming, he needs sun time to time, but he can't because he's afraid of President Trump to kill him. He's afraid of B-2 and F-35, and thank God the F-47 are coming. You know, this is the 47th anniversary in a couple of weeks. It's the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Republic in Iran. And you know what? The 47th president destroyed them up to now and will destroy them to the end. Yes. And The new generation in Iran, the people of Iran. When I'm talking about the new generation and their parents, we are talking about at least 96, 97, 98% of the society. Regime has just a bubble of probably 2% supporters. The rest of the country, they are against this regime. I don't want to go to that part that, we have seen some movement these days when the revolution is taking place in Iran. The son of former Shah is trying to go and get some credit and say it was me, but it was not him. We are not looking for another dictatorship in Iran, definitely. We had it enough. And I was in Israel last year and talking to one of the cabinet members, let's say her name, it's okay. The Minister Gila Gamliel, the cabinet member of Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I met her at her office at the Knesset, the Parliament of Israel in Jerusalem. And she told me, Amir, do you want with your giant network to come and support Prince Reza Pahlavi? I said, no, why? And she said, I know he doesn't have it, but in Iran we need somebody to lead. I said, Gila, let me remind you about something. When American founding fathers, they came together. It was at the Independence Hall in, where is exactly the direction of the Pennsylvania? Yeah. They said, okay, what we are going to have? George Washington is there. Let's call him the King George the First. And everybody around the table, they laughed. No, we were fighting with the tyranny. And right now, let's go back to just transfer the power to the people. And then the first constitutional republic came to place. Did you know the United States Constitution is the first written constitution in human history? Did you know that? Do you know they are not teaching that at schools? Yes. Every time when I'm talking about that, even I was at the Loyola University, it was the gathering of constitutional law professors. I was speaking there. The audience, all of them, they were constitutional law professors from Harvard, Yale, Stanford, everywhere. Columbia University, oh my God, what and I said, okay, tell me what is the first written constitution in human history? And everybody looked at each other and said, we don't know. I said, how come you don't know? It was the United States Constitution. Yes, US came up with this idea. This idea was not exactly the idea of American founding fathers. It was Montesquieu's dream in his book. During the Age of Enlightenment, Montesquieu, in his book, The Spirit of the Laws, said, let's have a tripartite system. And everything I'm telling you, I was teaching Gila Gamliel in her office back then. And I said, the tripartite system is going to place because we want to make sure not one person will have all the power. Because absolute power, it's corruption. And another very beautiful thing Montesquieu was saying in his book, which everybody missed it, was about the Christianity, about the Christian Catholics and Christian Protestants and the Muslims. Did you know that? Montesquieu said we have three types of government. We have either republic, monarchy, or despotism, dictatorship. And then Montesquieu said the Christian Catholics, they are going for monarchy. And then he said the Christian Protestants, they are going for republic. When he was talking about it, we didn't have any republic in the world. It was his dreams. And he wrote it in the book. 40 years later, after he published his book, the Constitution of the United States was written. And the Protestant nations could come up with the first constitutional republic. And Montesquieu said the dictatorship, he said Islam will bring dictatorship. And he painted beautifully all of this. He was a genius. And American founding fathers, thanks to Thomas Jefferson, had their eyes on Montesquieu. They were called Montesquieuan. And then they said, yeah, let's follow that path and build the first constitutional republic. I was telling Gila Gandel, in Iran, that's our chance. We had 120 years ago, we had our first constitutional revolution in Iran. Maybe you don't know that. Yes, it's 250th anniversary of United States, but it's the 120th anniversary of Iranian constitutional revolution. But never, up to now, we had the real definition of the Constitution. I learned it from American founding fathers. And my book, which is written by me and my beautiful wife over there, Dr. Sanaz Al-Asti. In this book, which you can see me, Thomas Jefferson, and Montesquieu there. And it's called The Spirit of the Constitutional Law. And in this book, I mentioned, yes, I learned from American founding fathers. And even in my interview last night on Newsmax, I said, for those people who are saying we need a kingdom in Iran now, I'm saying no, thank you. And I'm sure President Trump, because for the last 250 years, United States didn't create any dictatorship, didn't create any kingdom for the world. And I'm sure President Trump is not going to be the first one to go and break the taboo on this. We need a constitutional republic the same as United States. And I asked the Israelis, please, thank you for your help to make Iran free. But if the kingdom was that good, and she was telling me, look, Iran has a history of great kings like Cyrus the Great. And I said, oh, I love it, yeah. But Israel had the great kings too. You had King David, you had King Solomon. Why, when Ben-Gurion and his fellows, they went to create Israel, they didn't go for the kingdom of Israel. And they decided to follow the path of United States and go for the constitutional republic. Yes, in Iran, today we are facing the final phase of constitutional revolution. And it's a very well-educated nation. 20 years ago when I came to United States, the first thing I have done, I was testifying at the Homeland Security Committee at the Senate. It was probably 2 months after I arrived in United States. And over there I said, I'm so sorry. I'm a student leader in Iran, but I'm so sorry that 25 years ago, you have seen the hostage taking, and it was so-called, they were students. Then I realized they were not students. Then I realized, and I drafted a book called Comrade Ayatollah. And in my book, which became bestseller in other underground market in Iran, was sold 3 million copies. That book is illegal in Iran, but everybody went to get it. In that book, I found a lot of documents that Iranian supreme leaders have been trained in Russians spy training center since 1964 to 1968. He was trained by KGB and was sent to Iran as a mullah, and nobody knew that. I found all the documents about that the entire Iranian so-called Islamic revolution was not a revolution at all. It was a Russian coup d'etat. And you will be a lot more surprised to find out in the book, the chapter 10 of the book, I found who helped the Russians to topple the Shah. It was Queen Farah. And Queen Farah, since she was 21 years old in Paris, she was recruited, my time is over, she was recruited by KGB. I have seen it.
Keep going.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because they will be bored, and then I don't want them to just throw something.
I don't think you're boring anyway.
Oh. just please let me know when I'm. And Is it just him is happy? Nobody else is happy. Thank you. And yeah, the Queen Farah, when she was 21, she was recruited by KGB in Paris. At that time, the story of Cinderella was very popular in the world. And the Iranian king divorced his second wife, Mohammad Reza Shah, and was looking to find a beautiful girl. These that I'm talking about is, you can just search the book called Mitrokhin Archive. It's the archive of secret and top secret documents from KGB after the collapse of Soviet Union. The head of that archive, KGB's archive, defected to London and just published all those with the help of MI6. This is documented there as top secret document of KGB, that Iranian Queen Farah Diba was agent of KGB, sent to King's Palace to make sure she can badmouth United States and Israel, because Shah was friend, very close friend and ally of United States. And after Farah went to the palace, everything changed. Shah became suspicious about United States, about Israel. That was beautiful plan by KGB to destroy Iranian kingdom from inside. One of the reasons we don't need kingdom anymore is that. Because when you have a king, easily with one trained agent in king's bed, you can change the rest of history for an entire nation. Yeah, we don't need that. We need the constitution. And in my book, Comrade Ayatollah, I mentioned that, I revealed that, and a lot more secrets. That the nature of Iranian revolution was not at all a revolution. The people were not out to topple the king. The people loved the king back then. But what happened? It was the coup d'etat from inside the palace. And the queen forced the king to get out, because KGB told queen, if you force him to go out, you will be the power, ultimate power. And then when she pushed the king out, then KGB said, okay, you should go too, because we have other trained agents, the mullahs. Then the mullahs, they came to power. And since then, for last 47 years, Iranian government became the minion of Russians. It was the mixture of Marxism and Islamism, which destroyed our nation. When we are saying mixture of Marxism and Islamism, what comes to your mind? Who is at the same time Muslim and socialist? Was Obama and Mayor Mohammedani. Oh, it's coming to you too. The thing happened in Iran, the mixture of Marxism and Islamism found its way to United States. The last point. Everybody, this is the first speech for me, because I just started my next book. It's called Islam in America. And the last point is, you don't know that part. Do you know who brought Islam to United States, to American universities? You won't believe it. It was a guy, Iranian guy, called Hossein Nasr, who was in 1953 in Harvard University. He started the Islamic Association over there at Harvard. That was the first Islamic student association in United States. That guy later, 25 years later, the same guy became the head of Iranian Queen's office. And in 3 months, he could finish the job and force the king out. Hossein Nasr. Yeah, Hossein Nasr, a Muslim Marxist, started first Islamic organization in the United States. And you can see how bad is it, the situation right now. Hossein Nasr is still alive. He lives in Washington, D.C. And he's mentoring all Islamic student associations all over the United States, which I'm going to reveal all these secrets in my new book to make sure the thing happened to us in Iran will not happen to United States. I'm an American citizen right now. I love America the same as I love Iran. And I want to protect this country from the crazy ideology, the virus of zombies, the virus of Islam and Marxism. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Amir. Thank you so much. Was that educational or what? What a blessing for you to join the Reawake America family. And make sure you have a moment to talk to Amir. He has a number of books, and you definitely want to connect. And definitely connect on Instagram.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you,
very
Amy,
much.
for having me.
God bless you.